Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to Pep Talks in the Morning. My name is Hadassah Charles McLeod, co-chair of the Women's Arm, and your host for today's show. I am sitting in for Felicia Holder, who is very busy on the campaign trail. And today we are continuing on with our interviews of all the candidates, the 28 candidates that we have for elections 2020. For the first half of this show this morning, I will be joined by Rondell Glasgow. And then for the second half of this show, we will be joined by Matthew Gibbs. Rondell, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am excellent. I am fired up. I'm very tired, but I'm here. And good morning to the viewers. Good morning to our viewing public. Thank you very much for having me here. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. For us to have this little discussion, I think it's important.
That's great. Thanks for being here this morning. How is everything going?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, I'm running for the constituency of Labray, the magnificent constituency of Labray. I like to always interject that because it's really magnificent. And my work on the ground for the year and a half that I've been on the ground is starting to yield fruit. I'm starting to see people actually recognizing the Progressive Empowerment Party and recognizing me and calling me by name. People who I can't even remember their name. I can't remember even talking to that person. That person is telling me now when I'm in the grocery or when I'm on a walk about, yeah, remember you had passed by this house. Yeah, I remember you was telling me about this and is really heartening to see that something new is taking place in my constituency. Whereas we've had the same
That's
old, same old,
excellent. That's
we've
excellent.
had
And
the
we will
same old,
get to
same
that
old, the same old.
later on in the show. We will talk about all of that, but it's really good to be here and to be hosting this morning. And we're going to talk about all these things because I was joking to myself that I have to live vicariously through you guys because I am not in Trinidad. I am still stuck in the US. Hopefully, I'll be able to come home soon, but I'm not there. And I really want to get a feel of, what it's like on the ground, what the atmosphere is like. So we're going to talk about all those things. So let me just read your bio and introduce you to our viewing audience this morning. So Rondell is a long-standing resident of Labray, married and raising his two children in that constituency. From an early age, he joined many groups and teams. At the Coronation Park Orphanage, he helped with homework and taught primary and lower form students. He also mentored at-risk youths and indisciplined children from time to time. He is actively involved in his village council and in his community. He is objective. His objective, is to be a professional, logical individual with competencies to be of value to his country. He enjoys martial arts, dance, and football. I think we have everything there, Rondell. Did I miss anything?
Um, I've done so much. Many of the groups that I've been involved in are groups that I co-chair, groups that I co-founded. A lot of the um, a lot of the dance groups, for example, um, U for You or Characters Incorporated, or I mean, so many of them. It was because we were young and we wanted better for ourselves and we wanted to find positive things to do with our time. And after forming little dance groups and dance associations and taking people to the world championships in dance, we decided to continue to do it even though we weren't dancers ourselves. So we have
Okay.
classes ongoing and we try our very best to engage the youth in something much more positive than sitting down at the side of the road on the block with your pants sagging. In fact, we usually go to those areas right on the block, right where those guys are linemen, and try to persuade them into doing something completely different, you would be surprised to see how very easily they'd be willing to come on board and to be a part of it, because usually you'd find that most at-risk youth, their main issue is the home. Their main issue is that they want to feel included. You know, they want to be part of something. So I just wanted to add that there.
In, Indeed, and it to me it seems like it would only be natural that you would find yourself in politics, just the type of person that you are. So tell me something. Let's start with what is the atmosphere like in Trinidad? I really want to know. Please tell
Yeah.
me.
Okay, so of course I have to address the elephants in the room. Yes, the sycophants exist. Yes. But other than that, the people
Other than
who,
that,
yeah, other than that, the majority of Trinidad and Tobago who said no to the red and the yellow, the majority of Trinidad and Tobago who withheld their vote, and for good reason, they are seeing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and the color of that light is orange. I'm telling you that on my walks, when I meet people and I have conversations with them, sometimes the response is just, my God, finally. Sometimes the response is, why will it take so long? Because everybody is ready for something new. Everybody is ready for something different. Everybody is ready for something that is strong, that is competent, that comes off as intelligent, and that comes off as something that they can trust. The Progressive Empowerment Party is all of these things. So the energy on the ground is electrifying. It is kind of reminiscent of 1986 when NAR came and wiped the books to teach it tree. It's something like that. Everybody fed up. I mean, look at it. People from the highest corners of society complaining about, you know, their findings on what the current system is like and what the current politicians are like. And people in the quote unquote lowest sections of society, they are willing to go out in the road and protest. We need to take all of that energy and we need to place that energy somewhere. And the positive way to do that is in a political party, take on all of these cries, all of these sorrows, all of these woes, all of these complaints, and all of these hopes and dreams, and turn them into pragmatic law to ensure that we have a strong, sustainable society, one that we could be proud of.
indeed. And well, in 1986, I was 5 years old, so I don't remember, but I'm sure the no our older viewers would know and they would really understand. And it's a shame that we have not gotten the media mileage that we really needed. But that's okay because we're still doing it. But a lot people would have known more about us, and when you tell people that we've been around for 4 years, they are shocked. But don't worry, we will fix all of that. So let's get into your official interview, Randall. Tell us about the constituency of Labrie.
The constituency of Labrador is one of the oldest constituencies in the country, and the constituency of Labrador is responsible for making Trinidad and Tobago oil rich, because the very first oil well ever dug making Trinidad oil rich was dug in Labrador. That's one. Two, everybody talks about the pitch lake, and that's because it's rare. And there are only several around the world, and we have the largest with the largest asphalt deposit. That pitch lake alone, with proper leadership, with proper policy being written into play, could guide and protect and strengthen our economy in ways that have never even been explored before. All of this is why I'm here. And like I said, everybody talks about the pitch, but we have many other things in Labrador that to be used to ensure that we have a vibrant local economy. We've never done that. Though. We have 7 beaches in one constituency. Why has that not been marketed internationally as the beach capital of the world, seeing as we are in the Caribbean.
Hmm.
I mean, we've had also, let me just go back to the pitch lake. We've discovered a fish that is prehistoric living in the pitch lake. And everybody thought that, it was extinct and whatever. I mean, it's prehistoric and it exists. It's part of the natural ecosystem. We have so many things in this little dot of a constituency to be very, very proud of and to market internationally to ensure that we get foreign direct investment. So yeah, so we
Sorry
have a
about
little bit
that. Go
to
ahead.
economics
Go
taking
ahead.
place. Um, Other than
Hmm.
that, a lot of people don't know that the constituency um, is divided by a forest, and in that forest, it's called forest reserve. In that forest are oil wells, hundreds of them. Because of that forest reserve, because of our wealth, it creates a bit of a burden because you have to pass through another constituency to get back to my constituency. You could spend your entire life living in Erin and develop, marry, have children, and meet your end and never see Labre proper. Labre is a small village that the entire constituency is named after, but the constituency is really, really, really big. One of the things that I intend to do is to marry the right side and the left side of the constituency to ensure that we can trap money locally because we don't do that. But that's another conversation, perhaps for another time.
No, we can get into all of that a little later on. So tell us about the work that you're doing on the ground in Labrie.
Okay, so um, what I have found to be true in my experiences is that whatever you want to do or whatever you want to be, the only reason you are not that as yet is because you're not doing it. So I've been doing the job of my member of parliament as far as I am able to. I've been doing that probably for the past year, and I started this journey a year and a half ago. So when people uh, lose their houses to fire, when people face injustices meted out to them by the same state that's supposed to protect them, I take up that charge as best as I can in whatever capacities that I can. So that's my work on the ground. My work on the ground isn't just sitting in the back of a van tray smiling and waving with people with flags jumping up and down to fool poor people to make people think that I have support. It's not like that. Everybody who is going to cast their vote for Rondell Glasgow this election, this 2020, will be people that I've touched in their heart, will be people that I've assisted in some way or another. It would be really how it's supposed to be. It has to be that the person that you elect to represent you knows you and understands you and can really represent you. And that's what I've been doing. I've been putting in the groundwork for quite some time now to ensure that my voice really is the amalgamation of all of what we want and all of the voices in library. So that's my work on the ground looks like so far.
That's wonderful, Randall. I really think you embody what it is to be a candidate and a potential MP. I look at you and I'm just so proud of you. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you remember when Philip and Tony used to do a show on the radio in the morning?
Yeah.
This could have been about 2 years back or so.
Hmm.
Um, I think I remember the first time when you called in, and you touched base with Philip. I remember that
Yes.
so well, and I remember thinking, wow, this young man is on fire, and we need more young people like this. Am I wrong? Was that you?
That was me. That was me. And certainly we do need more young people like this. Let me tell you something. One of my peeves, and I know it will sound strange, but it's true. It keeps me up in the night. One of my peeves is the fact that our youth do not care one bit about politics. They think it does not affect them, and they think
Well,
that
it's
all
changing now.
politicians, it's
It's changing
changing,
now.
and
The
I'm
young
doing,
people are they're gradually waking up.
yes, I'm doing all in my power, and the Progressive Empowerment Party is doing all in their power to awaken this. Let me tell you something. You would quicker hear a child say, I want to be a fireman, a policeman, a lawyer, than they say they want to be the next prime minister, or they want to be a politician, or they want to be the chief whip in the house, or they want to be uh, in the position that Bridget Annie said George is right now. What I'm saying is, we don't even understand how the parliament functions. I was in an interview last night, and the questions that were coming at me let me know immediately that the people who were asking me those questions and the people who were probably listening, waiting for the response for those questions, didn't understand that those questions were loaded questions because that is not how Parliament is run and that is not how Parliament functions. We need a mass literacy campaign. We need a mass education campaign about politics and about the standing orders of the House. People don't even understand what the role of the opposition is. People don't even know what the role of the member of parliament. And we need to change that. The smarter we get our electorate, the better class of democracy we will have. And we need that in this country.
Indeed, I believe the Progressive Empowerment Party has done a fantastic job in terms of fulfilling our goal, which was to empower, educate,
And
um,
then for
and inform the public. And I think that is why now the electorate they seem to be demanding more from their candidates. They want to hear more. They're calling for debates because they have woken up and they've realized that what they've had as representation has not been representation at all, and it's just been, you know, an illusion. And I believe that we will have more young people come into the fore because they're going to start to see more positive influences. There's nothing for them to aspire to, Randall. Nobody wants to be the prime minister because there's nothing to aspire to. There's nothing, um, you know.
of course,
So I
and
believe
that's
that
what it
we've had a
hurts
big
me.
chance in changing that. It's really good.
It hurts me to hear that, and that is true, and that is what I was talking about. I mean, I don't think this current administration or the administration before or any administration truly understood the value of the seats that they held. Other than the fact that it paid a salary and other than the fact that it shaped law, other than that, you need to understand that the children of your nation look forward to you because you are holding one of the highest or some of the highest offices that our constitution allows for. And when we see misbehavior in public office, and when we see wanton uh, corruption allegations, I mean, even the allegation alone is enough to taint the high value of that seat. But that's become the norm. Nobody cares if you call the opposition leader a thief. Nobody cares if you call the prime minister a liar. No one cares. When in fact, these are seats and positions and titles that the children of the nation are supposed to aspire to and to feel proud of. I don't know what child feels proud of our prime minister. I don't know what child feels proud of our opposition leader. I don't know what person is proud of the things that we hear coming out of our parliament. And the reason, part of the reason that I am here and the reason I'm doing this is to bring back that honor, that dignity, that pride in our most esteemed offices. I think that the role of a member of parliament is one of the most noble roles written out in our constitution, and I will do all in my power as God bless me with air and breath to breathe to ensure that I'm the best member of parliament library has ever seen.
Indeed, and I believe that. Um, what are the major issues facing your community and by extension, the constituency of Labrie?
Unemployment is number one. Labraza constituency is the leading constituency in unemployment. So unemployment is the first thing that we need to tackle. That is our major issue. Unemployment of course, is the root that breeds other things. There's crime, but where doesn't have crime? But the kind of crime that we have in my constituency, it's not landlocked. Two parts are landlocked, the width, that is, but the breadth of the constituency, the other two, both face the sea. And with Venezuela being 7 kilometers away from our shore on one part, and on the other part 9 kilometers away, it's very easy to understand why a fisherman may go out at night and come back without fish. So without without good opportunities, without hope, I mean, they got rid of regular gasoline. What did they expect to happen to the fishing villages that depended on regular gasoline to go out there to make an honest dollar? What did they expect?
Hmm.
I'm saying that the people in my constituency, they need hope and they need opportunities to be able to provide for themselves and to provide for their families. We always say in the Progressive Empowerment Party that a country is built on strong communities, but strong communities are built on strong households. We need to rebuild that family unit. And again, unemployment is the thing that seeds all of the social ills that we are facing in my constituency. I mean, I could list all of them, but I think that that list is kind of inexhaustible right now. And we really need to rebuild that family unit, and we need to put into play these 21 policies. We need to write them into law to protect this place.
Indeed. Well, we know that unemployment is a major issue facing the entire country. But if there were any two other things that you said you would want to address urgently in Liberia, what would it be?
Certainly. So roads are what facilitate trade, and I know that people make jokes about it when I say, look, the roads need to be paved, but you have to understand that we have a market, for example, inside Library, and that market is dying because nobody is willing to drive down there. You have to get a 4x4, a big truck to get down inside there. And because the roads are so bad and so deplorable, the large market and the large fishing village that used to have a lot of commerce and a lot of shipping taking place, that doesn't happen anymore. So another issue is infrastructure. If we have good roads
Yes.
and good drainage, then those roads could facilitate trade. Right now, those roads are a hindrance to trade. So number one is unemployment. Number two has to be infrastructure with our roads. Number three has to do with our financial sector. Let me tell you something. There are two ATMs and no bank in my constituency.
That
Two
is such a
ATMs,
shame.
no bank. Labre needs a few things. We need to have a fire station. There's nowhere in the entire constituency of Labre, and you could drive in the constituency of Labre for 2 hours just making the perimeter and still not be finished with it. You have to wait for a fire truck more than 2 hours to come to your place. In fact, a fire truck got stuck in a pothole while it was on its way to save a man's life in my constituency. So you understand the need for good roads. But we need a
Yes.
fire station. We need a library in Labre. We need a bank in Labre.
Just basic
Labre
development
needs,
then.
it's basic. It's basic. We don't have any fire hydrants are talking about simple things.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
sad.
I think if you wanted to be a good representative, if you wanted to have something to mark uh, your presence as having served a term as a member of parliament in Library and getting something done, or even at the councillor level, getting something done, I think any basic thing you do would be lauded because in Library is lacking so much, so much. Even if you got a library built,
Yeah.
you'd be lauded. They may want to name the library after you because we don't have it. We don't have it.
Oh,
It's
wow.
insanity.
All right. Well, when you read the 21 policies of the Progressive Empowerment Party, you get really excited. Can you tell me
Mm.
which policy resonates with you the most?
Okay. The most, but I could probably give you a top two. um, Water
We
because
need
it
one
makes the
because
most sense.
we're running out of time.
Oh gosh, water because it makes the most sense, you know. But a lot of people
Hmm.
have harped on about water and how we intend to solve water. I think everybody by now knows how to fix water. When a few years ago, if you asked somebody how come we under a drought and how come we having floods and that kind of thing, they would tell you, well, people keep throwing us at our garbage in the river and that is why. And people would have told you that, well, it is evaporation and that's why. People would have told you crocodile by the pipe and now it's leaking. All of that nonsense is over. Trinidad and Tobago has woken up and now we're hearing people saying things that make sense. We're hearing people saying capture, treat, redistribute. You're hearing people asking questions as to why the our water system is so terrible after WASA has been around. But from different names. But the actual body of us has been around for about 116 years since 1903. So water has to be, I mean, the number one policy. Number. And because of time, I'm not going to
Definitely.
talk about the next.
No, but anybody could understand the importance of having water. And
One,
when we are able to implement that, it would definitely revolutionize life in Trinidad and Tobago. So I can understand that. All right. Um, so, Rondell, in your own words, tell me why do you think PEP is the best political vehicle right now in Trinidad and Tobago, and why are you a candidate for the PEP?
So the Progressive Empowerment Party is the only political party that is disconnected from the corrupt contract mafia that has been sucking from the nipple of my treasury and leaving absolutely no space for economic development for the past 58 years. That is probably a good reason to vote PEP, right? The Progressive Empowerment Party is also the only political party that came out with policies off the bat. We came out and we told you these are the issues and these are how to solve them. No other political party has done. Usually they come out talking about rhetoric. Whatever is the new thing, whatever is the latest thing, whatever is the latest bacchanal or whoever have a map to bus, this kind of rum and roti politics. We've gotten completely used to that. So used to that we expect it. What people didn't expect is to hear we can solve water, we can solve our national infrastructure, we can solve the, the judicial issues that we are having, we could solve crime on the whole. We've never had that before. That is why the Progressive Empowerment Act. For anybody, any person who's on the fence, I'm not talking about diehards, anybody who's on the fence could see that there's a complete difference and a positive difference with the Progressive Empowerment Party and why they should probably lend them their vote this year. Me, the
Well
reason
said.
I am running, the reason I am running with the Progressive Empowerment, I've always wanted to be part of change. That's why I helped found so many groups, you know. And I see the Progressive Empowerment Party as a way out of the rut that we've been stuck in for all of these years. I see the Progressive Empowerment Party as a chance at true democracy, not this autocracy that has been in this duopoly, this monopoly that has been shoved down our throats to make it look as though it's democracy. The only way you can get away and around the Westminster system is to do exactly what we've been doing. And I see the Progressive Empowerment Party as a way to break that. And I want to be the one holding on to the sledgehammer and swinging away.
I love that. And finally, I'm going to give you a little bit of time, but maybe about a minute or so, to tell your constituents actually why they should vote for you.
People of the constituency, the magnificent, beautiful, soon to be developed constituency of Labrador, hear my voice. Understand that I am one of you, and understand that what we need is good representation. We don't need somebody like my political opponents saying that in the first year of office, they're going to partner with you to find out what the issues are. Please, I've grown up here. Nobody had to tell me what the issues are. I know them because I face them, because I live them. And because of that, and because of the strong and firm backing of a political leadership that is so wise and has so many good ideas and so many good people backing them, because of that, I am the prime choice to solve these issues. I know them already. I live them. And I see how the solutions of the Progressive Empowerment Party can, in fact, impact all of our lives. I'm asking you to give me the opportunity to take all of this weight and all of this burden off of your shoulders. Allow me to solve water. Allow me to solve our public healthcare system that's in a complete mess. Allow me to solve these issues about these people breaking our rules and coming into our country illegally. Allow me to solve all of it. Place all of that on me and the Progressive Empowerment Party. Allow us to go to Parliament and battle on your behalf. Allow us to action the Parliament and make it work for us and not for friends and finance. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the only political party that came out forthwith and said that we do not want any deep pocket finances. We don't want it. Give us the chance to change it. Give us the chance to affect your life positively. My name is Ron Delglas, PEP candidate for the constituency of Labrador on August 10th. Make the real right choice. Vote for change, not exchange. Rondell Glasgow, 2020.
Well said, Ronald. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was an absolute pleasure speaking with you and reconnecting with you. And I can't wait to touch down in Trinidad when I can meet up with all these puppers again. So enjoy the rest of your day. Trinidad and Tobago, we're going
Thank
to
you so
take a
much.
break now. And when we come back, we're going to be speaking with Matthew Gibbs. Thank you.
We vote MPP. Progressive Empowerment Party. We vote MPP. Progressive Empowerment Party. Now it's time for real change. We don't want no exchange. PEP is real change. The rest of them is exchange. Now it's time for real change. We don't want no exchange. Now it's time for real change. We vote MPP. Progressive Empowerment Party. We vote MPP. Put your X by PP. Progressive Empowerment Party. Say we vote MPP. Progressive Empowerment Party. We vote MPP. Progressive Empowerment Party. Now it's time for real change. We don't want no exchange. PEP is real change. The rest of them is exchange. Now it's time for real change. We don't want no exchange. Now it's time for real change. We vote MPP. Progressive Empowerment Party. We vote MPP. Put your X by PP. Progressive Empowerment Party. Save TNT. Vote PEP.
August 10th, save TNT. Vote PEP.
Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be the second half of our show, and we're going to be interviewing Robert Matthew Gibbs, the candidate for Chaguanas East. He's joining us now. Good morning, Matthew. How are you?
Good morning, Hadassah. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Chaguanas East. I'm fine this morning. Hope everyone is well.
Well, you sound fired up.
Yep.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure to get to speak to you today. You know, I'm filling in for Felicia, and I'm absolutely enjoying this. I have to ask her to let me do this some more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get into it. Matthew, tell us about your constituency of Shogunas East.
Well, Hadassah, I live in a wonderful community. I grew up there. Originally, I was born in Port of Spain in the West, and my family and I, we moved to Central when I was still in primary school. So my roots are basically for Central. I attended Presentation College in Chaguanas. And again, to give you a little bit of my history and why you want to absorb the fight for the people and be that handkerchief for their tears and be their voice. In 2002, 2003, I lost my home due to fire, where on a personal note, it basically rendered me somewhat homeless. I didn't have anywhere to go. The people that I consider my family is my fellow constituents because they were there at my time of need. I have to say, they were there for me without a doubt. And joining the PEP has now given me the opportunity to give back. You see, I am one of those people. I am one of them who we consider the grassroots because I live among them. I work among them. I have my own business. I also work for a company. My plans are great in the fact that I want to work with the business community within that constituency. I want to assist them to grow, to develop, and to show them that here's what we have hope. I got some new forms, business forms of additional taxes that we now have to pay. The PNM, their ideology of financial progress is taxing a nation into prosperity. But how can you do that? Really, how can you do that? When you tax me and you tax the average Joe, we now have less money to live our lives. People ask me why you didn't go with this party or why you didn't go with that party because you're the man getting it done for us. You should be on one of those platforms. I said, let me tell you something. I'm on the right platform because you see what Philip does. No one else had the fortitude to even start to do it, and that is why I love Philip so much because he took up that fight. He took up the same fight that I'm taking up for my constituency. He took it up for you, me, our children, and generations to come. He took it up for the entirety of this country. How can you not believe in someone like that? How can you not give that guy a chance? Really, all of us within this party, we share the same passion. We share it. I mean, history will show us that politicians before, well, parties before, parties present, they come out with the grand promises, the great ideas. They even giving you money in a t-shirt now. So for those who are willing to sell their soul and sell their children's future for $300 to $800, 3 to 5 by yellow, 5 to 8 by red, go ahead. Let me see how far that will get you. Because from the time you hit the grocery, that done. You 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 cannot have a sustainable lifestyle with $500 to $800 today. You cannot. You have to stop thinking about today. And we as a people have noticed that that's what the majority of us do. We focus on today's needs. We don't focus on tomorrow's needs and next week and next month and thereafter and so on. Now, people are forced to live that way. People are forced, what I've noticed in my community, they are forced to think like that because from generation to generation, that's what they're accustomed with. No government has ever come into office and provided for the future of the people. No member of parliament has seen it fit to actually sit down and talk with the constituents, find out what their real needs are and address it. But no, we're not for people. A lot of them are for their own pocket. And those of you who want to tell yourself, hey, I die hard this and I die hard that, here's what. Take a reality check. Look at yourself. Look at where you live. Look at how you live. Look at the bills you have to pay. Look at the taxes you have to pay. Look how they live. Look at the taxes that they don't have to pay. Because when you pay tax, you pay their salary. And by extension, because they don't pay tax, you pay their taxes for them. How can you be part and parcel of that, really and truly? How?
Indeed, Robert.
Yesterday,
And
yeah.
your passion is undeniable. But let's get further into the interview because we're going to talk about all these things. You're talking about how we have a culture of people living today for today, and that is because they've never had a future to look to. You know, their dreams were stolen, they were stripped of that. And right now, we have the Progressive Empowerment Party coming back in and injecting people with hope. And people are starting to dream and imagine what their life could really be, you know, and that is really important. So let's get to the next question, which is tell us about the work that you're doing on the ground in your community.
Well, Adasa, I've been reaching out to the constituents, listening again to their needs, and assuming office. I really think that we have important issues to highlight. We have important issues to attend to. There are changes that imminent that we need addressed immediately. In my constituency, there are so many. Sometimes I ask myself, where do I start? I don't know what I'm going to meet when I reach there, when I get there, should I get there. But I know my intentions. Win or lose, I'm not going to stop because the people that I live amongst, they are like family. A lot of people that say that blood is thicker than water, but in this case, water has shown me that there is love and compassion and humanity still. And the issues facing my community is a lot, which is flooding, water, unemployment, all of which I intend to take the bull by the horns and deal with. That's why I said in one of my statement before, I would like to work with the business community to help them develop their business so they now could create extra employment. Our policy of decentralizing works to the constituencies, should I get into office and I could have a go at that, I now can create jobs. We are now being fooled by people who are offering 50,000 jobs. How? No, I want you to tell me how you're going to pay those salaries. Those same people, that same party said, you know what, we're going to raise pension to 3,000, whatever the case may be. Up to today, NIB is still suffering off of that statement, and I have the facts to prove that. They have never been compensated for that statement because they have been writing the checks and nothing is coming in. From a business standpoint, you have a lot of expenditures and not sustainable income, you're going to crash and burn. That is the position of NIB right now. We need to rectify all of these things. When these people come up here and give you promises, and again, I will say a promise is the comfort of a fool. When they come and make those promises, ask them how. How they're going to substantiate salaries, how they're going to substantiate certain things. In our policies, we show you where and how it's done. We can show you from beginning to end, from salaries to enactment. How are we going to make that change possible? We have that policy.
Indeed.
We're not built on promises. Yeah.
Well, what you're saying really speaks to how important it is that the member of parliament actually be from the community, because you can actually speak from experience, from living the nightmare that the constituents are facing, you know? So I think that's really important. But let's get into what has been the response of the people to you thus far.
Well, Hadassah, honestly, the response, some of the responses had tears in my eyes listening to these people. Some of these people
People
have
looking for
sworn
hope.
allegiance to certain. Yes, no, I'm serious, Hadassah, and it is sad. It is very, very sad. I speak in this now and I'm trying to hold it back because remembering what people told me and how they live and looking at the lifestyle that they have to live. They see us as an actual hope. But you know what? Their concern is I've been burnt once, I've been burnt twice. For 50 plus years, I've been now extra crispy, burnt so many times. How am I sure that you're the one? But when I explain our policies and a lot of the constituents knowing me, because I'm a popular person within my constituency, they know what I'm for, they know what I stand for, they know what I believe in, and they know that I'm going to take that fight for them. They tell me point blank, apparently your party and what you stand for is the only true hope, and they have broken their allegiances to who they swore those said allegiances to, the different platforms. And it is really sad to see people thinking that, okay, this party told me they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and they sound good, but sounding good and doing good is two different things. It's two different things.
Exactly. Big
Yeah.
difference from performance.
And
Exactly.
yeah. And Central is considered a certain party stronghold. But I mean, I hope they realize that that is not the case anymore, because the generation of voters now have learned to ask certain questions. They have learned to sit back
Yes.
and evaluate. I'm not saying that everyone now has that capability, but a lot of them, they consider, they really consider us a voice of hope. They really look at us as a voice of hope. And I will assure everyone, Trinidad and Tobago, again, I'm not here to give you any promises, you know. I'm here to offer you all solutions, solutions provided by the Progressive Empowerment Party's policy. That is what I stand on. That is what I stand for. That is where my allegiance is. My allegiance is to my country and to my fellow men. And by extension, and in fact, not by extension, what I should really say is PEP gave me that hope. I have someone to provide for, you know. I have a smile to look forward to, you know. There's one voice that I hear every day and I try to communicate with every day. That is my baby girl. That is one I love you, I can depend on. And I will take the fight up for her. What kind of man would I be if I don't fight and defend my family? And my family is my community as well. Really,
Indeed.
people, what kind of man would I be? So people need to ask these politicians, who are you? What are you? After last night, I told someone, respect who I am or fear what I will become, because I will not tolerate any obstacles in my way of providing for my family, which is Shogunas East. I'm sorry, but this is one brick wall you'll need missiles to try to shake. I cannot be
Oh
bought.
wow.
I don't have a price. I don't have a price.
So
I
while
cannot be
we're
bought.
so, so while we're on this topic, could you tell me what are the major issues facing your constituency? I know you mentioned jobs, but what else is your constituency facing?
Well, poor roads, the number one national issue,
That's the
no
cry of
water,
everybody. Yes.
no water. Yeah. Someone mentioned to me on one of my walks that, you know how hard I have to get up, how hard it is for me as a single parent to have to provide for a family of four. And this is a woman I'm speaking of. And the woman started to cry. She said, I have to get up to try to wash my children's clothes whenever there's water in the pipe. At 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, 12 at night. And then I have to leave
Whenever.
4 o'clock at home to travel to Port of Spain and spend 2 to 3 hours trying to reach to my job, then come back home, face the same traffic, and have to do it all over again on a daily basis. What are we putting in place to provide for people like this? Neither,
Yeah.
neither of them have ever provided for these people and these type of families. I hope people open their eyes and stop swearing allegiances and realize where you are right now. Because if you don't,
They're
well,
waking
then
up,
don't
Robert.
drag the rest of
Don't
us down
worry.
with it. Yeah, yeah,
They're waking up.
yeah. So
Um, so which of the PEP policies would you say resonates the most with you? Because we have a lot. You just mentioned jobs, water, infrastructure, traffic. Which of our policies really gets you going?
you see our number one policy. In fact, I love all,
I know you
and that
can't
is
help but
why
love them.
I'm here. But that's honestly, my constituency and myself, we love our housing policy. A
Yes,
lot of
that's
people agree
revolutionary.
that yes, a lot of people agree that they don't need handouts because we know HDC is now being, and as by extension all like CPEP and all of these established things that they have established are now political tools. So what they love is the transparency of it. They love the clarity of it, and they love the fact that based on minimum wage, they can now own their own home. We have broken it down where we have a calculator that works out homes per square foot in TT dollars. Our policy affords the average person, the average working Joe, the ability to own their home and still have your salary. Minimum wage on a monthly basis works out denotes to about $2,400 to $2,500 a month.
Yeah.
For 1,000 square foot house, we have worked it out. You will be spending about anything between $400,000 and $500,000 for 1,000 square foot house. You'll be paying anywhere between $700 to $800. So let's just say you work at minimum wage, and on a weekend you have an odd job or two. Every weekend you make minimum at least $200. At the end of the month, you have not touched your salary and you now pay your mortgage. Because at the Progressive Employment Party, working standing with you up to $1.5 million once you qualify with the bank, and we will make those qualifications even easier for you to achieve your goal. Zero down payment, zero interest for the duration of that loan, removal of taxes on all your building materials. That $500,000 house could look like $1 million home. And by extension, the removal of property taxes as long as it's your first home. You see, and
Yes.
we have plans. We have all the plans to put that in action for the average Joe. If we fix people one by one by giving you a home, we'll fix your community. We have the policies to fix the
Indeed.
communities throughout the country. And then the country will now start to see that hope, that light, because all of those who engage in illicit acts, when I speak to them, their goal is to provide for their children and to get a home, because we live in a society now where rent is more than a mortgage to some degree.
Yeah.
And that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. How you could tell me I'm renting from you, and then when they look at what you giving me is substandard, and if I work out a mortgage from the bank, I'm paying less to the bank. That is madness. We have policies
Yeah.
to fix all of that. And what I love as well, we have policies to change that minimum wage into a livable wage.
Into
Minimum
a living
wage.
wage. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. People need to understand. So when these other two come and tell you we're going to increase minimum wage, yeah, okay. Minimum wage is based on your biological needs to survive day to day. At $15 an hour, you could buy a slice of roti every hour. Just saying, sada roti and whatever. You may not get a drink. A living
Hmm.
wage covers your living expenses and your biological needs. This is the difference people need to understand. This is what I've been preaching to people.
Yeah, this is a good place for us to segue into something else. So, in your own words, why do you think PEP is the best political vehicle right now in Trinidad? And why are you a candidate for PEP?
Well, I will show you. See this? These policies,
Yes.
that's why I'm a candidate. That's why I'm on board with the PEP. Because asking people on different levels who have attained tertiary education, when they break down every policy, they said, but Matthew, this could work. Once implemented
Yeah.
properly, without opposition, this could work. This will work. And I speak to my business peers who are very successful businessmen. They said this could work. This could work for us. We don't need to bribe anybody for anything anymore. Once you all put this in place, we fix. And that is why both sides don't want us to be in office, because they will not receive whatever incentive they receive, if I should put it that way.
Exactly.
So now, if you can run your business on the straight and narrow and reap the rewards of your blood, sweat, and tears, that makes you a proud business owner. We have
True.
policies to make your business grow, and our policies will give you that economic growth within your business. You can now hire people. And then we did what? we attacked another problem, which was unemployment, because you, as a business owner, could now afford to hire more people, which makes it
Yes.
quite simple. And we can move forward as a nation. So when we decentralize, all works the communities and the average Joe, not and when I say average Joe, the normal person who not affiliated, who basically, let's just put it this way. You're not red, you're not yellow, but you could still get a job and work and get a paycheck with nobody telling you, hey, if you don't work with us, you'll lose your work. We're not going to put that on anybody's head. You have problems in your street, here's what, come out, fix it, get paid. Simple. We want to work with the business community for them to provide the necessary materials to do those jobs. When we do this, again, we stimulating local economies. And I said, I'm a
Yes.
businessman. My business has grown. My business has grown and is growing quite well because I know what to look for and how to do certain things. I have a team behind me, a team that consists of a forensic accountant and a chartered accountant, which is people close to me who I know, who I'm willing to assist business people in my community with. So they now know what to do, how to do it, how to get it done. That 30% tax that they implemented to the business society, if you remove that, that gives me now extra money to hire more people. But again,
Exactly. More cash flow.
this that's right. This administration, all they know is about issuing tickets and taxes. That's all they know. I don't know if for me to become the Minister of Finance, I have to be 4 feet tall and illiterate. Because if you in that position cannot figure out a way to diversify our economy and generate forex, well, then you don't need to be in that position. If we had laws that if those people, when come out of office, what debt you leave the country in is out of your pocket afterwards, no one would want to fight for that treasury anymore. Bet your
So
bottom
true.
dollar. There are, yeah, there are countries that
So
have
true.
stiff penalties towards politicians, very stiff. And we need to
Yes.
have those penalties implemented towards all past and present administrations. We need
Yeah,
to
and
have
that's why
those kind of
our
penalties
recall
given to them.
policy is so important.
Yes, it is.
You know,
Yes, it is. Because that now
um,
gives the people a voice.
indeed, indeed. So we don't have to wait until the end of a term to say, well, this is not working and fire you. If you're not performing, then we fire you. Simple as that.
That's right.
Okay, well, we're coming down to the end of this show, Matthew. The time has just literally slipped away. Um, but I want to give you just 2 minutes to wrap up to tell the viewing audience and your constituents why they should vote for you.
Well, Hadassah, darling, I will say that, folks, you need to make the right choice. When you give me that vote, put me in office, you can now hold me accountable, personally accountable for the development and growth of our community, of my constituency, Shogunas East, because I will give my people that opportunity to voice their cries, to come to me, and in fact, I will go to them as well. This is a 24/7 job. I don't mind doing it. I really don't mind. I would love to help people. I would love to be that person that says, here's what, this is now your chance. Remove the clouds. There's no silver lining, but there are rays of sunshine. I told someone yesterday, I'm not going to give you a job. I'm going to give you a career. There's a difference.
Yes.
A job is something that is could be short term, but a career is for life. So I want my people in my constituency to realize that here's what, that's the go-to man. That's the man to get it done. No other platform will provide what he himself could, and give me that vote. Let us move forward. Let us be one. We will unite. I will sit down and look like one of the grassroots. I will sit down at the head of a table and blend in with the kings and queens, so to speak, because that's the personality I have. I have no shame in sitting down with anyone, lying with anyone, being one of the people, because that's exactly who I am. I am the I ams. I am one of those who pays taxes. I am one of those who have no water in my pipe. I am one of those who who may suffer a busted rim due to a pothole with no accountability. Like there was someone, a lady sent me some photos of her vehicle. The rim was cracked. The tire was busted. The shock damaged. The bushings on that side of the vehicle were also damaged. Because I'm a mechanic as well, I went and repaired the vehicle for no charge. We need to have accountability where if you suffer damages like that, you can go to a board, go to whoever it is, and be compensated for your loss. And the person responsible fired or sued. We need to have
And get some type
accountability
of
on that
redress.
level. Yeah, we
Indeed.
need that. So, and that is what I am going to
Indeed.
provide. I am going to provide those answers and solutions for those people. So once I get in that seat, everyone is welcome to come to me and let us get it done. We will get it done. I can't do this. I cannot do this by myself. I need my people to have my back because here's what: I don't care what color you are, who your allegiance, who you swear your allegiance to. I'm here to serve you. It doesn't matter to
Serve
me who you are.
everybody.
That is my passion. That is what I want to do. That is my personal dream to serve you. Like I said, I don't care who you are, where you come from. That is what I'm going to do. And it could hold me, Trinidad and Tobago, hold me accountable for these words as of today. Because
Robert, thank
because
you so
Shogunas East,
much.
you're welcome there. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome,
I mean, I
Hadassah.
wish we could go on for 2 hours, but time has literally
Yes,
slipped away. And maybe we can do
yeah.
this again. But thank you for coming on this show this morning. Trinidad and Tobago, this is your candidate for Shogunas East, Matthew Gibbs. Matthew, I wish you all the best on your campaign. And I will be seeing you guys soon. All right.
Thank you.
So, Trinidad and Tobago, that's the end of our show. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll be back on Monday with two more candidates for you. Enjoy your weekend and stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.
We vote MPP. Progressive Empowerment Party. We vote MPP. Progressive Empowerment Party. Now it's time for real change. We don't want no exchange. PEP is real change. The rest of them is exchange. Now it's time for real change. We don't want no exchange. Now it's time for real change. We vote MPP. Progressive Empowerment Party. We vote MPP. Put your X by PEP. Progressive Empowerment Party. Save TNT. Vote PEP.
August 10th, same
Save TNT.